Hello and welcome to Nowhere. My name is Trish and I am the creator behind Nowhere Novelties. The first week of May is Teacher Appreciation Week, and for the past couple years that I've been making tumblers, I have had a specific design for my customers to purchase for their children's teachers. And this year I created a popular template that has been going around on like TikTok and in other Facebook Tumbler groups. So it is the rainbow pencil with the word teach on the back in rainbow. And I think this one's really cute. If you're ready to see it come together, let's strap in and shoot for the stars.
Many people have asked in the past for a look into how I actually cut my templates on Cricut. So I was just showing you the website there, LEBs, to get the template. And then I'm going to bring that into Design Space. So I have a blank canvas here. I'm going to upload the file from my drive. It has both the outline, if you want to call it, of the burst template that you're going to start with to glitter on the catch scratch tape or double-sided sticky tape, and also the pin striping file. So it comes together, so you're going to have to either hide or delete the one side of the template. So right now I unattached both of the templates because they were attached together. I have just the outline selected here. And I'm going to unlock the dimensions so that I can only change the width. The height is fine at 8 inches, but I need 9.25 in the width to wrap all the way around my tumbler. Each tumbler is different. Make sure you are measuring your specific tumbler. Like I said, hide that pin striping side of the template here, and then you are going to go ahead and make it. I cut my double-sided sticky sheets on the washi sheet setting, and the type of cat scratch double-sided sticky tape that I use is linked in the description box under my Amazon Essentials. So this is the template cut. You can see all the little cut lines there. All I'm going to do right now is cut off the excess. The template does cut out like a nice square so that I'm able to cut right along that square line and get this template measured up to exactly the 8 inches tall by 9.25 inches around. On this very bottom edge, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to use the little Cricut paper cutter, so I cut it with a pair of scissors. And then this is the hack of all hacks. I've talked about it before on the channel with burst templates. Instead of trying to transfer your burst tumbler template, like the double-sided sticky sheet, onto your tumbler, you want to transfer it onto white or a corresponding vinyl color. If you're doing like a super dark burst template, maybe do black or a coordinating color, but most of the time white works really well. This also allows you to not have to base paint your tumbler. So I am cutting out 8 inches of Oracal 651 permanent vinyl. In hindsight, I kind of wish I would have done 8.5 because I needed to line this up absolutely exact. But it worked out fine. So I am taking a little piece of the yellow side, the backing side of the cat scratch tape, getting that off of the actual double-sided sticky part to create a little hinge, and then I'm going to apply that to the white vinyl here. I'm lining up those edges like I said, I wish I would have given myself a little bit more room, but I lined it up just right. I didn't want any waste. Press down my anchor point, and then you're going to slowly work that backing sheet off of the cat scratch tape and onto the vinyl. Just make sure you're pressing out any air bubbles. You can get air bubbles doing this, but if you take your time and just press it nice and flat, it works out pretty well. And then, of course, I am taking off the tiny piece of excess on the white vinyl, just to make sure I have my exact dimensions for the burst template. Now I am running through all of the glitter colors that you're going to need for this template. It's surprisingly a lot. You are going to need a black, gold, like light pink, and silver just for like the pencil tip and the eraser portion. But then you're going to need 5 colors for the actual rainbow portion and the word teach. I chose a pink, orange, yellow, blue, and purple for my rainbow. It does not have a green because there's not 6 colors, so or 6 lines, so there's only 5. The last color you'll need is like your background color, and I just chose Frosty, which is a really soft white. It has a little bit of like iridescent flecks to it, but for the most part it's a pure white. After everything is glittered, I did take it outside and spray it with a matte clear spray paint just to lock in all of the glitters, so that when I start to move everything and do my first coat of epoxy, my glitter colors don't move around. So now we're kind of going to repeat the process in terms of like getting a hinge section from the white vinyl that we have on our background. So I have my hinge started. I'm going to line it up on my tumbler, make it nice and straight, have like an even portion of that stainless steel on the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to slowly work off the backing paper. My suggestion is to kind of like press from the center and smooth out towards the top and the bottom to avoid bubbles. Some people have successfully applied burst templates with like the soapy water method, like the wet method. I've messed up my glitter doing that, so I avoided it at all costs. So I just take my time working my backing paper off and just smoothing out any bubbles as I see them kind of forming. If you take your time, it will go on nice and smooth. I had a teeny portion of overlap that I wanted to kind of trim off. I didn't want to risk that seam lifting. I've had that issue in the past. So I did take a very, very small piece of that seam overlap off with my craft knife. And just to double, triple ensure that I'm not going to have any issues with this seam, I did take some polyacrylic sealer and do a small bead of that down the line of the seam and smooth it out with a silicone little brush, if you want to call it that. Let that dry completely, and then I did do 2 coats of epoxy. And now I will show you the next step of the Cricut portion of this template, which I think is actually pretty, 1, genius, and 2, important. So I had very limited stock, I guess you want to call it, of the holographic opal vinyl that I wanted to use. So the very first thing I did was measure my tumbler, and with the 2 coats of epoxy, it made the width of it now 9.5. The height is still 8, but you do want to remeasure your tumbler to make sure your width is changed. I duplicated the outline design, and then I took one of the templates, one of the images, went into contour and contoured out the whole rainbow. I wanted none of the pencil. And then on the other one, I did the opposite, so that you have these 2 individual images They're still the size that they need to be, but you can move them around freely on your Cricut mat so that you can use whatever size vinyl you need without a whole lot of waste. So this worked out for me. So I think it's genius. Hopefully that made sense. So now we're just going to transfer over the kind of pinstripe or outline, offset, whatever you want to call it, onto both the Teach and the pencil. So I will mention that I did 4 of these cups, just one for the channel, but I did end up doing 4 of them for customers. And in hindsight, it was a lot easier to actually cut the Teach up. Each individual letter you can actually cut like right on the line where the two letters touch, and I then transferred each of the letters individually, and that made it way easier to line it up, because you can't quite see it here, but that H does not line up. So in hindsight, I think it was a lot easier to just cut them up and place them individually. And then unfortunately, the pencil, you got to do it all in one piece. There isn't really a way to cut this down. But the good news is that as long as you line that kind of center like rainbow arch, everything else falls right into place as long as your measurements are good. So once you get the outlines on, I did 2 coats of epoxy over my outlines, and this cup was done, and it's super cute. I hope you enjoy this tutorial and give this one a try, because it is perfect for all of your littles teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week. See y'all next time. Bye-bye now.